I thought going off-grid in Japan would be peaceful and cheap, but I wasn't ready for this. 1 minute I'm waking to breathtaking views, and the next I'm battling intense wind and cold. But life is journey, so it's just me and my cat and the van in Japan. But we also had a really terrifying night, and I'm excited to share that with you because I survived it. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Cheney and I'm an Australian who bought an abandoned Ikea house here in Japan, and I'm working here as an English teacher, which brings me to right now, which is our spring break. It is unusually cold at the moment, so I'm hoping it will warm up when we go camping. So I'm going through all of my camping gear, and I've bought a couple of extra items like these window covers, because up until now I haven't had any window covers in the van, and it's been a little bit difficult to keep the cold out. So I've got these insulated window covers, and my next problem was where am I going to store them, because I have very little storage, because this is a mini cave van, which means it's really small. I found this hammock item on Amazon, and it's going to allow me to hang the window covers above the passenger seats at the back. And I'm pretty sure Millie's going to like this. She's probably going to think it's a bit of a hammock that she can use. I do love this packing and planning stage of camping. On this camping trip, I'm adding something so exciting to my camping van, and I'm really excited to be able to camp and camp off-grid. So this time I'm installing a solar panel on the roof of my van. And this isn't any solar panel. This is the Renogy 200 watt ShadowFlux anti-shading N-Type solar panel. Now I need to mount the solar panel to the roof of my cave van, so I've come down to the local hardware store. I also don't want to make any noise when the solar panel is being hit by wind, so I'm using a bit of rubber to go under the panel. And I'm looking at all the different types of U-bolts that you can use to U-bolt it onto my roof racks, because I really don't want to drill any holes into my car. I just want to be able to mount it onto my roof racks. So here is the collection of all of the different pieces of material that I've bought to help mount the solar panel. I've measured up the roof of the van, and I know exactly where I'd like the panel to sit. And now I've attached some brackets to the solar panel, and this is what I'm going to use to now use the U-bolts to attach that to my roof racks. I think this is the best way to mount it when you're using roof racks. I've used stainless steel and galvanized fittings, and I've used nylock nuts, and they're special nuts that go on your bolts that won't rattle loose when you're driving, which is really important because you don't want them to come loose and your solar panel fly off. I'm so excited by the shade tolerance ratings of this solar panel, and it has such high efficiency and durability, and you can read all about it on their website. I'm going to put a link in the description below. So I've got the wires down now into the sliding door compartment, and I've just hooked it in here, I've tucked it in, and it just fits nicely on the rubber, and it doesn't impede the door from shutting at all. This is an automatic door, and I've tested it a few times and it's working great. And all I have to do now is plug it into my power pack, Blue Eddy, and fast forward, here we are at the campsite. And it's been traveling all day, and I've put all of my things on charge. So I'm drawing in 141 watts of power at the moment, and yet I'm only using 46. And I've had my phone charging, my laptop has been on charge, and of course I'm running a refrigerator. So I'm making power, more power than what I can actually spend at the moment. So with Blue Eddy at 100%, I use about 15% of that during the night, running my fridge and different items. So this is nighttime or a low light environment, and other solar panels will probably bring in 0, but the Renogy ShadowFlux is still bringing in power, like 35 to 33 watts of power. That is very impressive for this time of evening. So even though the solar panel takes up a large portion of my roof rack space, I still have room to put on my chair and table, and I'm just fastening them with some straps. And I'm going through all of my boxes. Now these boxes fit underneath my bed, so they're the perfect storage solution, and I've got them divided up into different boxes for different things. So I've got all my cleaning items, my cooking items, and all of the tent pegs and shower systems in each different box. Now that just slides in under the bed, and all I have to do is when I'm at the campsite just pull out the boxes, and it's like having a set of drawers. I know what's in each box, and yeah, it works really well for me. So as you know, I'm traveling with my cat Millie, so I've got her playpen, and that just fits neatly under the top of the bed. I load the fridge up the night before and turn it on, so my battery pack has been charging outside by the sun, and the van is fully loaded. So I've put all of Millie's items in, so she has a litter box. I've had to take the flap off because she's gotten too big now, and I just put a bit of plastic down in case the water spills when we're driving. I've made my bed. You probably won't see it made like this for the rest of the camp trip, and I've got my box of clothes and food inside, and I'll just take all of this stuff out when I get to the campsite, so it won't be as cluttered once I get there. Now I'm ready to go. The panel is charging back up again, and the last thing I need to do is bundle Millie up and lock the door and head off. So I always put her in last so that she's not stressing in the car as I'm in and out. Millie loves getting in the car, so don't think that I'm being cruel or anything like that. She absolutely loves the car, and she loves being in the garage. So whenever I go out to work, she just howls because she wants to come in the car with me. She thinks I'm going out camping every day. She doesn't realize I'm actually going to work, because the only time she's really been in the car with me is to go camping. So today I'm going to a place called Amanohashi Datte, and it's about a 4-hour drive from where I am in Wakayama. So I've driven for 2 hours on the toll road, and it's about 12 o'clock now, so I'm going to stop at this local roadside station. They have excellent produce and always such good fresh food here, so I'm going to have one of their vegetable tofu dishes. Getting into the campsite a bit late tonight, so this is going to be my lunch and dinner all in one, and I'm celebrating the start of spring with a strawberry ice cream. Tonight I'll be staying at Akaguri Saki Auto Campground. I thought I'd go easy on myself the first couple of nights and just stay at an auto campground. It's just a lot easier and get myself into the rhythm of camping again. The campground has just opened up again for camping season. They've had a bit of a snowy, rough, cold winter. So this is just the first week that they're open. And interestingly, I am their only customer that is staying here for the next few days. Now, I did look at the weather forecast. At the moment, it's really nice weather, but it is going to turn. So maybe that's why other people aren't coming camping here at the moment. I'm really excited about testing out these new solar panels in poor weather just to see how well I can live off-grid in the van. So once Millie and I want to do some more extended trips, I want to know that I can go further afield and not have to rely on campsites. I want to be able to use free camping, and that's staying at Michinoeki, which is the roadside stations, or there's plenty of different places around Japan. There's actually maps that show you where you can go free camping. So I guess I'm looking at this as a bit of a trial run, and I'm easing into it by staying at a paid site. This site has no power, so it's a great opportunity to try everything out in the van and just see how we go. Our first night was a wonderful success and we slept really well, but we have woken up to some very, very strong winds, and I believe this is what's going to be the start of the bad weather. I'm just easing Millie into camping again. I think the last time we went camping was October, so it's been quite a few months since we've had a trip. So I'm just letting her make decisions about whether she wants to get out of the van or stay in the van. I'm just watching her reactions and seeing how she feels about it all. The good thing about having a K-van is at times like this where it's really, really windy, you can just go inside the van and be fully protected from all of the elements. Unlike if you were in a tent, it would be very difficult to cope with the level of wind. And a little bit later on, I had to actually pull the awning in because the awning started to act like a sail, and every time we got a big gust of wind, it would almost rock the car. So I ended up having to pull that awning in, and we spent a lot of this first day, Millie and I, just sitting in the car, checking out the view outside. The view was still very beautiful. It was just really too windy to be sitting outside comfortably. Even though it is spring, the temperature has dropped a fair bit, and the wind chill factor is making it feel like it's a lot colder than what it actually is. So on our second day, Millie is definitely a lot more settled and she's happily eating her breakfast, which is always a really good sign. So I'm going to check out some of the facilities. This campsite has hot showers and really clean bathrooms, and it's got a lot of lovely walks around the point because it's out on a cliff point. I've also put the screens up and just made Millie comfortable because I'm going out exploring for the day. And I heard there was a really nice beach nearby, and it's called the Wakasa Wada Beach. This place would be sort of bustling in summer, but at the moment, you know, it is their off season, so things are closed, but there are a lot of popular restaurants around and some really good reviews according to Google. But none of that is open at the moment, so I'm just going to sit down and enjoy this weather while it lasts, because apparently it is going to turn. And turn it did. Later that evening, it definitely got cold, windy, and it did start to rain. So I decided it was definitely time to go to bed early and just get myself all locked up in the van. I've put all of the things under cover, sort of under the car, or packed them in the van if they fit, just to get ready for a potential storm that might be coming along tonight. And I also thought best to go to the bathroom before I go to bed. And this is where things started to get a bit crazy for me, and I think I got the fright of my life. So I had to walk to the bathroom. By now it was really dark, and as I was walking to the bathroom, I could swear I could hear footsteps behind me. They weren't my footsteps, they were a different set of footsteps. I got that tingly feeling up the back of my spine, like something wasn't right. And I turned around just to see what it was that might be following me, and suddenly all I could see in the darkness were eyes. Many sets of eyes, and they were standing there just looking at me. What is it? When I got my focus, I realized they were deer. There were deer everywhere, and they'd been walking behind me the whole way to the bathroom. I started to walk really quickly to the bathroom because then my mind went, well, what else is out there if there are deer? What other things might be following me? It was really freaky. I had no idea that this campsite had deer or any other type of wild animal living around, but it makes perfect sense because we're up against a mountain, and of course there would be all sorts of animals like deer and boar, and there might even be bears. I'm not too sure, but it just reminded me to definitely keep my wits about me when I'm camping alone. So safe back in the van, I'm going to have a very good night's sleep, and I'm not going out in the dark again. The rest of the night was pretty uneventful except for the really loud rain and wind that we had overnight, and I'm certainly glad I did go to the bathroom because it wouldn't have been nice going out there in this kind of weather. I've kept as much of my items dry as I could by putting a tarp over them or putting them under the car. But one thing I really do not have to worry about is power. This ShadowFlux solar panel is absolutely amazing. So even when the weather is bad like this, I'm still generating enough power to run my fridge, and I'm nowhere near draining the battery down, even though we've had such bad weather. And Millie wasn't all that keen to go outside when it's wet, so we've decided once again to have breakfast in the van. And I'm watching an awesome movie on Netflix, and you guys said please recommend any good ones when I find them. This one is fabulous. It's called Faceless, and it's in Japanese, so you might need to use subtitles if you don't know Japanese, but absolutely excellent movie. I ended up having to watch it twice because there was so much in it. So as soon as I packed up the van the night before, I thought we may as well go to an onsen today. I was a bit put off by using the bathrooms at the campsite, and I can either sit there or be miserable, or I can choose to be happy. I found a great onsen on Google Maps, and it's also connected to a road station. So I was keen to get in there. There was some good reviews. But as I walked to the door, I'm not in luck at the moment. It said Teikubi, which is actually closed for the day. And so I headed off to another onsen, which Google also said was open, and this one is in fact open. So I am finally going to have a nice soak in an onsen and change my mood around, because it has been a bit cold and miserable and I've been stuck in the van for a good day or so now. This onsen is a community onsen, so it's really affordable, and it's only 400 yen, and it included everything like all of your shampoo, conditioner, body wash, hair dryers. There was also relaxation rooms, so I guess this is an onsen that's for the community that lives in the area. I had a wonderful time. It wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. It was just lovely. And they even had an outdoor area, so you can sit and look at all the bad weather as you're sitting in a hot bath. And I even decided to take a massage in the massage chair, 100 yen for 15 minutes. It was such a great experience. And the weather is still, not great, but it's just starting to clear up. So now that I'm all clean and fresh, today's the day I'm traveling to Amanohashi Date. And I'm going straight to the chairlift with Millie.
ワンちゃん前にお願いします。
猫です。わかりました。はい。Amanohashi means Heaven's Bridge, and it's one of Japan's 3 scenic views. It's a really long sandbar in the Miyazu Bay in northern Kyoto, and it's such a beautiful sight that I've been dreaming of coming here for such a long time. And this was my final destination for this camping trip, and another place called Ine, which is where the boat houses are, so I'm keen to have a look at that too. And it's really nice to be able to share this with Millie as well. I didn't want to leave her in the car all day while we're exploring. And of course I couldn't resist a photo opportunity.
はい、ありがとうございます。
So happy that the weather cleared just enough so we could get this great photo and this great memory. This place is called Amanohashi Date Viewland, and you can take a chairlift, which is what I'm doing, or you can also take a monorail. A lot of people, like myself, want to bring their pets up to the top of Viewland, and you can only do that on the chairlift. You can't do it on the monorail, and that might be because some people have allergies. And just at the bottom of Viewland, there's a lovely little quaint shopping strip, and of course a really nice temple to visit as well. There are sightseeing boats that you can take which will take you all around the place, and there's a bridge that turns. This is one of those turning bridges, and this is the bridge that I'm going to walk over with Millie. And we're going to do I think it's 2.6 kilometer walk of the sandbar. So it's great to have enough fine weather that we can take a good long walk together. I could see lots of people doing exercise, and it was a really great time. And I also found a little cafe. It is quite cold outside, and this cafe is pet friendly. And I noticed that there was a really cute French bulldog in there, and I thought Millie would be actually terrified, but they did a little nose boop, and I couldn't believe that Millie would actually like another animal, because she's a bit funny with some humans. Like, she's a one-person cat. She doesn't really like everyone. It takes her a while to warm up. So it was really interesting to see her interact with a dog. I wish I'd filmed it, but I was a little bit nervous at the time because I was worried that either the dog will get hurt or Millie will get hurt. Now tonight I'm going to do the free camping thing. So this is a car park right at the base of Amanohashi Date Viewland. And I talked to the parking attendant, and he said if you pay and you're out by the morning, you're welcome to stay overnight. And of course there were beautiful clean bathrooms on site. There was shopping, and even, check it out, across the road, this old quaint onsen. So not only could I stay the night, I could go to the onsen, which was literally across the road. So I'm really happy with this free camping site. This is definitely one to remember, and one that I would recommend because it's right on the water. Come 5 o'clock, practically everyone had gone. It was just me and another couple that was traveling from Osaka, and they had their 3 dogs, and they were also camping in their car. And we had a good old chat about camping life, van life in Japan. They're a retired couple, and they're just driving around Japan with their 3 dogs, doing what I'm doing, basically free camping. So we shared a couple of tips with each other, and it was really great to meet some van lifers doing it. And Millie is quite comfortable here because there's no one else around, there's no other people or animals, so she's feeling brave enough to walk around and explore the area around the van. Now, the lovely couple from Osaka told me to bunker down again tonight. They said, pull your awning in, pack everything away. We're going to have really bad weather overnight. It's going to hit. And boy, did it hit. The next morning, it was chaotic. It was cyclonic winds, heavy rains. Who would have thought from the day before that we'd have this kind of weather? It seems like every second day we're having some kind of wind or rainstorm. And the temperatures are really low. They're not like the normal spring temperatures. We're getting down to like 1s, 2s and 3 degrees. So yeah, the wind chill factor is really making it cold as well. Not the ideal camping trip, and not what I imagined camping would be like this spring holiday. But that's okay, we're going to make an adventure of it anyway. One thing I've learned through this channel is you never know what someone else is going through in their life. Thank you so much to everyone for sending in their Life is Journey shirts. I'm really excited for this photo wall and where it's going. I really want to get to a place called Ine, and that's where the boat houses are, but I just need to get out of the weather for a little bit and get out of the van. So I've decided to come to the Maizuru Nishi Library, get some work done for a couple of hours. I camped over again in a car park by the beach, and even though it was rainy yesterday, this morning it's now sunny, and look at that, 100% on the Blue Eddy just from a couple of hours in the sun at the car park. It's like night and day, this weather. It's really hard to keep track of what it's going to be like, but I think today is going to be my last day. I'm going to head off to see the boats at Ine, and what do you know, tomorrow they're forecasting another batch of bad weather coming over. So I'm really getting a bit over the bad weather, so I'm going to go check out the boats and make this my last day So where I'm right now is another Michi no Eki or road station, and this is another place that you could camp, and I was originally thinking to camp here overnight and check out this amazing view, but now I've made the decision that out on the cliff top here it's going to get pretty windy, so I'm going to give it a miss, but that's not going to stop me from going down and checking out the boats. Ine is known as a beautiful fishing village in, again, northern Kyoto, and it's famous for the funaya. And funaya is the wooden boat houses, and they line the whole Ine Bay, and it really gives you a look into what traditional Japanese coast life used to be like. If you look closely, you can see that a lot of the wooden houses have a boat dock below them, and this is really rare. I think Ine is one of the only places with all of these historic buildings kept together, and they're all part of Japan's Historic Preservation Act, so they're all kept in their original condition. It's quite a sight to see and something you don't get to see in many places in Japan. And once again, there really aren't that many tourists hanging around here. It's a little bit more difficult to get to, and you probably would need a car to be able to drive around and have a look at some of these amazing sites. A lot of it is accessible and you can view it just from the road. You don't need to walk around, but if you did want to come here, I'm sure there are bus stops that you can come here as well. But yeah, really nice to be able to drive around some of the streets and get a good view of everything. So it has been an amazing 6 days, but I'm definitely sort of over it at the moment. And that's not to say it was a bad trip. It was a trip for learning and to see what it would be like if you were full-time camping. It's not going to be all beer and Skittles. You get the rough days along with the good days, and you have to learn to manage both of those. So I've driven halfway home now, stopped off for some ramen. My favorite is miso ramen. I always like to get miso ramen wherever I go. And roadside station is a good stop. Once again, I won't be having dinner tonight, so I'm having this as my late lunch, and this will hold me all the way till I get home. But I am going to stop off for an ice cream at another roadside station about an hour out of Wakayama. And funny I should say that, because when I stopped, so did all the sumo wrestlers. I had a quick chat to a couple of the guys and wished them all the best for the next match. Thanks so much for coming on this camping trip with me, and I look forward to talking to you again next week. See you later. Bye.